opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. Access Fort Wayne is a department of the Allen County Public Library. If you or anyone you know might be interested in making a television show, please call 260-421-1250.
Hi, welcome to the Kachmann Wellness Show. Today's subject, as my usual TV show here, which will be aired 6:30 Mondays on Comcast 57, is about stopping, preventing, and reversing type 2 diabetes. We speak about type 1 a little bit also. I think this is very important to you. A tremendous number of people have this. They think 50% of people, frankly, are either pre-diabetes or diabetes. Many people don't distinguish even the pre and regular diabetes. Reason being is that the complications of diabetes occur in pre-diabetes, okay? But the good news is that you can easily prevent it. You can stop it and you can reverse it quickly. Yes. How quick? I'd say 90% of the people could get rid of diabetes in 6 weeks, some 3 weeks. It's what it is related to really is type of food. It's not even the amount of food, it's a type of food. And the science has been changing. I've been at this probably 20 years now. And this science is changing somewhat to make it, frankly, a lot easier. The government, industry, we doctors, we're the guiltiest of all, frankly, have not stepped up to bat and went to work on it. I've been at it a long time through these TV shows, radio shows, books and lectures, and see people for free on Fridays. And I mean, really been into it, but it's not, frankly, till big-time leaders, ones beyond me, step up and embrace this, that we can have changes. I did notice that Eric Adams, the new mayor of New York City, is stepping up to bat. There's a big-time political leader, and I'll tell you about him in a minute. I see that our president declared war on cancer. So did Nixon. Very little has happened. Okay, I wish I voted for Biden, but I just wish that he declared war on diabetes. I did. Look at the name of this book. Look at the name of this book. And because it is so important that if we get rid of diabetes and its 30, 50 diseases, which would go away, they can be prevented, stopped, and reversed. The hospitals would empty themselves. The hearts would leave the front of their buildings. Cancer rates would go down. I mean, diabetes causes dementia, memory loss, strokes, eye disease, blindness, cataracts, retinal diseases, almost all of gum disease. Mm-hmm. Kids are losing their teeth at a young age because they eat too much sugar. The bacteria love sugar. They use it for food. You get away from sugar, or at least brush your teeth twice a day and you floss, and your teeth probably would be normal. I didn't know how to properly treat my teeth till I was in college. Yes. One of the fraternity brothers came out to me, Rudy, he says, we have a bunch of girls coming over. Would you brush your teeth? And my parents didn't tell me. I didn't know. I did not know. So I think dental care is important. Thyroid disease. A lot of people have a heart attack. It's due to eating too many sugary products related to diabetes. Half the people grab their chest, fall over, and they're dead. Certain racial populations have a lot more of these diseases because they're eating more of the bad food. It's not available. I think the genetic structure has been changed a little bit through slavery, for example. Some don't have the proper enzymes to digest milk, which Asians can't digest milk at all. So that has something to do with it. Amputations, dislocations. 200,000 people get their extremities amputated. All effects of vascular disease from diabetes. Yeah, the diabetes raises the insulin level, okay? And the insulin punches holes into intima, the innermost layer of the blood vessels, and it goes after the small ones first. What are the small ones? Very small ones actually are in your kidneys. The glomeruli that filtrate your blood, they're the absolute smallest. And they found the very first indication of diabetes are what are called in situ, very small changes in the glomeruli. But next, hearing. Almost all hearing disease, Meniere's disease, hearing loss, vertigo, a lot of these diseases are due to diabetes. They precede the diagnosis because we're not pulling serum insulin, so we're pulling blood sugars 8 years or so before diagnosis. Years. Then eye disease, the dental disease, and then it ravages the body. The quickest way to get rid of diabetes, eat the right food. Teach your kids that. They're now seeing diabetes, especially type 2, in young children. They're not being properly tested. I went to the head of the Pediatric Society. He'd been the year before at the state level. He's in town now, a guy you would love. I like his personality. And I gave him a Joseph Kraft's book here. The one is the most important of all. And I gave it to him. I said, I'll be back in a week, see what you think. Easy to read. A doctor could read in one night. Any person, 2 or 3 days. Okay? It's short, but it is the Bible of prevention of, what does he call the book? Diabetes Epidemic in You. Okay? Diabetes Epidemic in You. Should everyone be tested? You talking about serum insulins? Absolutely not. Only those concerned about their future. You care about your future, get a serum insulin test. Have your kids get a serum insulin test. He has in there, he did autopsies. He was a pathologist. He did autopsies on over 1,000 people, 1,300 people in Chicago, University of Illinois. He saw the bottom line. Then he also did nuclear tests. He took a course in that because in Chicago they used to have a lot of research on atomic bombs. So they gave a course and he attended that. And many people have that degree. That he really found out about the metabolism of sugar. He hooked a nucleotide to it, and they could follow the sugar. Remember PET scanning we do now? Because the sugar, they put a nucleotide to it, and they can, and then you have cancer spread all around, it just lights up. That's a PET scan that's available today, largely due to his research. Let me tell you a little difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Type 1, where you make no insulin from the pancreas, okay? And people can be born with that. Most of the time they acquire it. They call it idiopathic. They don't know the cause. But if you really get down, a lot of them, there is a cause. What causes it? Gluten does it. The lectins that are in certain types of food can do it. So to get a gluten test or a lectin test, even at a young age, is good to know, because it could be, if you avoid gluten, you don't get type 1 diabetes. Milk does it too. They have found milk does it, yes. And veterinarians will tell you, you give the milk of one species to another, that species dies. Us humans tolerate a little bit, some more than others. Asians don't make lactose, make lactase, the enzyme that destroys lactose, the sugar. So they'd be very sick, holes in their gut, and a lot of diseases are related to that, can all be avoided. So Asians don't drink milk at all. But even the government gives it away for free. I noticed down the street, they don't give money to the neighborhood clinic unless they attach their, what's it called, CHIP program or check program, where they drink the milk of cows. But if they don't allow that there, they won't give the money to the clinic there. I mean, that's the government. Of course, it's the industry that's promoting all this. So to me, milk is not a health food. So suppose you want to avoid diabetes. I think the easiest way is to, starting at a very young age, teach your kids not to drink milk. That's one thing. Another is to eat more good fats. If you had a food pyramid, you'd say 50 or 60% good fats, guacamole, and nuts and avocado, you know, and that's in more detail on my websites. For example, or attend my lectures or look at my YouTube shows. But here's a book which I think is just excellent. And even if you're 20% of the people of normal weight have diabetes, type 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you get tested too. Just because you're thin, no. Everyone should be tested with a serum insulin and glucose test, okay? And if you're overweight and your blood sugar is normal, I don't have diabetes, I don't agree. Get a glucose tolerance test where you swallow 75 grams of sugar, fasting 1 hour, 2 hours, see if that's that normal. If that's normal, and someone might say, you don't have diabetes, I still don't accept that. Get a serum insulin test. If those are normal, then I would agree you don't have diabetes. But suppose you got it. This book, Simply Keto, by Susan Ryan, I'll be honest with you, I just love this book. She had a serious weight problem, which many of us don't have, but some of us do have. You get some fat around your belly, you could have diabetes, okay? And some have more than that. She lost 100 pounds. I'm not asking you to lose 100 pounds, but I'm saying the information she has in there is so great. 30 pages of explanation about what good fats are, what good proteins are, what good carbohydrates are. It's all in there. Beautiful pictures, picture of recipes, things to eat. I pick some of my food out of her recipes, which are the greatest. If you're already a diabetic, get this book. And just eat out of this book. 6 weeks, 90% odds, 90% chance you will not have diabetes in that time. Look at the money you'd save. Look at the illnesses you won't get. You won't suddenly grab your chest and die. 50% of people have heart disease. They just grab their chest and they're gone. No warning, no angina, nothing. And so don't just accept from your doctor, here's your insulin, here's your metformin. You know what I come to find out? This whole business of diabetes is really a racket. I went to all the hospitals in town with Kraft's book. I wanted them to teach it, to use it in their clinics, and they refused. Okay. That's their business. Why do they do that? I don't know. Maybe they want people to be sick. Whatever the reason. You read the article in the paper recently that in town, the hospital systems charge almost more than anybody in the country. Do you think it's going to change unless we do something about it? No. So I think we need to step up to bat. I noticed some of the churches are stepping up to bat. The True Love Church, I gave a course there with Kelly Marvin, a cook that works with me, for 1-hour lectures. We gave there 20-odd people attended it, and they showed up every session. And some of those I'm even going to meet with tomorrow at the Divine Cafe by the Coliseum, and I'm buying them breakfast or lunch. They have great food there, and that's really my office on Fridays. We don't charge them anything, and people with advanced renal disease, some with diabetes, and we will work with them because I'm a doctor, for Pete's sake. But what Tom Jelinek in this book here, excellent book to read, as he had diabetes, and and goodbye pills and needles. If you're having to stick yourself all the time, for example, a person gets tired of that. 80% of kidney disease due to diabetes. They don't tell you that. They let you go through the first 3 stages of diabetes, which generally have no symptoms. They're not screening you with a GFR, glomerular filtration rate. Demand that on every test. So you see progression. The normal is 100, and when you need a new kidney, they're around 5. I have one lady had diabetes 2.5 years ago. I treated her for free. I've been seeing her every 2 weeks. She's lost a bunch of weight. Her diabetes is gone. Her kidney disease was stage 5, is now stage 4. There's nothing in the literature to indicate that you can reverse that a little bit. I don't know for certain either, but she's doing it. And I'm meeting somebody at the Divine Cafe tomorrow who has advanced kidney disease, GFR in the 20s, for example. She's going to go into dialysis. Believe me, that's a total nuisance. And see if we can work with her. If there's anybody out there who's got renal disease and diabetes, find me. I'll see you for free at the pharmacy, and I'll work with your doctor. Don't stop your medications because I'm treating you, but I'll give you some information where to find it, work with you. See, I personally think that at certain stages of kidney disease, it can be stopped and slowly reversed. I believe that in treating these patients, especially that one lady was stage 5, she's lost weight, she looks beautiful, she's got earrings. I mean, one case doesn't prove anything, but I think I'm on the path. And what Jelinek is saying in this book, what he's saying is that insulin helps form the disease. When you think about it, it makes perfect sense, because what does insulin do? Insulin, your blood sugar is elevated. Nothing's working, so we're going to give you the shot. Is that it stuffs the sugar into the cell, turns off gluconeogenesis in the liver. Metformin does it too. But now the cell is full of sugar. It's gone nowhere. Your blood tests look better, but you still got the sugar in your body, and you got to deal with it. And you'll notice as time goes by, more insulin, more insulin, more insulin. And wherever you inject yourself, you notice there's a little bump. That's because the cells have gotten fatter. Most diabetics that are insulin, they're getting bigger, and they're getting bigger, they're getting bigger, which accentuate disease. So what am I saying? Insulin helps form the disease. Insulin helps form the disease. And Jelinek is saying it. It's not just me. It's not just me. And also, I mentioned milk already. The same company, they sold it, I understand, was making a bovine growth hormone, which you inject in newborn calves so they will grow faster, bigger, so they produce more milk. And the same company that makes insulin, the 3 companies that make insulin, same company, they even formed a different name for this company because they didn't want to be embarrassed that they give this to a cow and it gets bigger and bigger, and give pesticides and herbicides, and you give the milk to your kid. What are you thinking? Read Whitewash by Joe Keon. Whitewash, Joe Keon. Make up your own mind. But after reading that, I totally don't recommend drinking milk from a cow. Matter of fact, you leave the milk of one species to another, the veterinarian will tell you that species dies. We humans just tolerate a little bit, some more than others. Asians not at all, blacks not as well. Whites about 50% tolerate milk. Mm-hmm. It's in that book. Don't just listen to me. Another great, I've been fired up about this for years. You know, I wrote Rudy's War on Diabetes. Before that, 5-6 years ago. Our body on fire, destroying our health. Would you believe this? I wrote this years ago. I think I've been passionate about this for a year. That's inflammation. That represents inflammation. Your body is inflamed. Then I wrote another one. And I'm not here selling books. I'm just trying to tell you why I'm so passionate about it. The scam, the racket, the fraud, or type 2 diabetes, a national scandal. I thought that 10 years ago. Yeah, I did. But yet, public health, government, nobody. Just let people have the disease. They let them have their strokes and heart attacks and amputations, dislocations, and blindness. Just let it go on and on. Well, I'm not going to do that. In this book, Jason Fung, who I think could be, you can see him on YouTube all the time. New show, I think, every week. Pull it up on your computer because they'll bring the stuff towards you, and you can watch his YouTube shows forever. And he prevent and reverse type 2 diabetes naturally. No operation, no big thing. And what he found, there's one paragraph in there which I find absolutely fascinating, is that he found that if you start to reverse your diabetes 20 to 30 years later, you would think it's hopeless. I can't get rid of it. He found if you get the fat out of your body through proper eating, lifestyle, maybe following this food pyramid I talked about, maybe reading Susan Ryan's book, that as you're eating right, the fat leaves the pancreas that makes the insulin, and then the liver. That's the first thing, that fat, and the pancreas starts secreting insulin again. Yes. 25 years later, a good 80-90% of people can wake up the pancreas and cause it to produce insulin, and you can stop the shots and all the other things you're having to do. Yes, that was, to me, amazing. So it's not just about prevention or slightly reversing it. And when you think all the things that this causes, increased rates of cancer. Cancer is a sugar feeder through the Warburg effect. They've known that since the 1930s. Then they kind of forgot about it because the genetic theory of cancer has turned out to be largely incorrect. Now the Warburg effect is coming back again, where we think that most cancer is related to what we eat, our nutrition. Not all of it. It's also partly due to smoking. It's partly due to consuming alcohol and poisons we take, and smoking marijuana, because marijuana causes the munchies. Our belly gets bigger, and guess what's there? Fat, and end up being diabetic even as children. So what I'm providing for you today is the information to prevent, stop, reverse diabetes. You're going to help avoid type 1 by avoiding glutens. Get a gluten test. In Australia, they will check 100% of the people for gluten and lectins, okay? And because they punch holes in your gut, and cause diseases, and could be anything. It could be dementia, memory loss, even multiple sclerosis. A lot of it they think is related to holes in your gut, where what you're eating is attacked by your immune system. See, your gut has one cell layer thick mucosa, one cell layer thick. So what you're eating can penetrate into your bloodstream and your immune system pretty quickly. It's one cell layer thick. But they also, what's nice about this one cell layer thick of your most inner lining of your gut is that those cells die every 20 minutes. Yeah, they're changing every 20 minutes. So if you change what you eat, you'll have a new gut within a week or two. Okay, let's say a month. So that can heal your gut. It won't do it in everybody, but it will do it in a lot of people. So when you get, if people were probably tested, there are populations today where 90% of the people are diabetic. Go to some movie theaters. I was in Chicago recently to speak to the head of public health in Chicago. I'd seen him on a TV show, and he was in charge of public health, and so I was there a day early. So I stayed in a hotel, and I went to a movie. I noticed a brand new movie theater, incidentally, which is and that had 5 lines where disabled people could park 20 deep. 100 spots for disabled people. And then they go inside where they were serving the people as they're watching the movie. I can see why they're sick. The people are buying nothing but unhealthy processed food, and I would say the majority of people that are there are diabetic. Yeah, and the next day I met with the head of public health, Chicago, and he treated me very well, and I had some books to show him that I didn't see when he gave a presentation somewhere, and see what he thought. And he said, you know, myself, he said, I've got a little trouble. I don't have time to exercise. That's maybe 20%. The type of food is 80%. So I didn't have time, and you know what I did? My books were laying all on this table that I gave to him that I wanted him to look at. And I taught him how to tap dance, which I do once a week. But at home more often, but once a week I take a lesson. So I gave him a book on tap dancing and demonstrated for him. Hey, what can you say? Thanks for watching this show. Watch my other shows, but you can't accept type 2 diabetes. It's not hard to get rid of, just a few weeks. You got to eat the right type of food, read some of this stuff, look at my YouTube shows. I got 500 YouTube shows on there. I've been doing this show here probably a good 3-4 years now, 1/2 hour, always on stopping, preventing, reversing diabetes, because I don't want you to have any of those diseases. I want you to have a normal life, live to be 100, tap dance with me, and maybe meet me to play some pickleball, which I played this morning, and I'll play at 2:30 again tomorrow. If you want to be seen for free for me to teach you more about this, I'm at the Divine Cafe at noon on Fridays. You sit down with me, I might even buy you breakfast or lunch of very healthy food. I do this because I love you and care about you. Namaste.